Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. Your cat's back there. That was awesome.
Yeah, it made its appearance. It did.
Yeah, of course. I haven't seen him in a while. It's cool. Hey, everybody. So today we have Dominika on. She is an international coach and author specializing in anxiety, ADHD, depression, and overwhelm. She's an expert with helping people manage transition-related mental health challenges, known for breaking down complex psychology into simple, effective tools, which is super important, has helped hundreds regain clarity, confidence, and control over their lives, and is a dear friend. So with that said, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
I don't know if I can say anything better. I mean, the last thing I've learned about myself is that penguins do not want to hire me, so I've only worked on 6 continents so far.
That's it?
That's basically it. I mean, everything you've said encompasses, I don't know who wrote this, but it wasn't me. So I'll take that for future podcast introductions. It was absolutely phenomenal. Yes, I am a geek when it comes to neuroscience, understanding how your brain works and making this practical so you don't have to take medication, so you don't have to struggle with crippling feelings of anxiety, fear of failure, fear of success. All of that is in our head. And I know it sounds very trivial, but I don't mean in your head that you've imagined it. I mean in your head because your brain created it and you had nothing to do with it. It happened beside you. And we will have a guest today on the show. So a lot of pattern interrupts. So if you guys, get distracted easily, today is the day to practice lack of distraction.
I love it. I've not seen him in a while. He had to come say hello. Thank you for saying that. So before we get started, just want to remind everybody on the top right-hand corner of your screen, there is a blue QR code. Scan that, takes you to empowerperformancestrategies.com. Again, for people listening on the podcast forums later, it's empowerperformancestrategies.com. We have free ebooks, we have resources, we have trainings, we have 2 Facebook groups, both for family members, and I said this too fast. I just got too normal with it, right? And of course, military veterans as well. So please join the mission and be part of the community. So with that said, so let's really dive in. Anxiety. So it probably has different definitions for different people. So what have you found? Let's just start with, what does it mean? What is it, even more so, what does it feel like?
So everybody who you speak to basically feels the outcome, which is crippling inability to do anything, feeling paralyzed. Mm-hmm. It always shows up with difficulty of breathing, either pain in the chest or quick breathing or lack of breathing, but goes both ways. Anxiety is attached to different situations and to different places in life and different outcomes. So some people have anxiety because of work and they're, for example, afraid, and it does come from fear, that they're not going to meet the deadlines or that they're not going to get a promotion or that they're not good enough. It is tied to imposter syndrome, or that, they're not going to look good enough for the guy that they like or for the girl that they like or for whoever else that they like, or that what people will think of me, or I'm not good enough mom, or there's just so many things. And that is something in your brain called amygdala, overreacting. And it fires up like a Christmas freaking tree where it's not supposed to be. And then it triggers your limbic system in your brain, which is the system responsible for all your emotions. And what happens is it shuts down something called prefrontal cortex, which is the front part of your brain. That's the executive function. When it takes it offline, your life is ruled by your brain, by your emotion. It's very difficult to come back from it. And prefrontal cortex is the answer. So now that I sounded very smart, we're going to make this very practical.
You don't just sound it, you are. But let's move on.
I want to make sure that I like the fact that we can now understand emotions on the process level, because if you understand the process, you can change the process. So
Absolutely.
now we don't have readily available cold baths everywhere we go when we hit anxiety. That would be a great way to stop it. But I don't think all of us run around with cold baths and just jump in, in the middle of the meeting, say, excuse me, I need to.
I need a minute. I'll be back.
That won't work. So one of the things that works wonderfully is, besides working with a coach or a therapist, is actually creating mental rehearsals that will allow you to understand. And we all teach this little thing, and this: as I think, so I feel; as I feel, so I do; as I do, so I have. But before this is what I believe. And mental rehearsal is creating a situation where your anxiety is growing and you're able to stop it. And you imagine that vividly, and then you do something that's going to be specific to you. You clap your hands, you shake that ass, whatever else you might want to do, or something settle if you're in a public meeting. Another thing that we do is that we try to take back our prefrontal cortex online. We want to turn it back on, because the antidote to heightened emotions is logic. And the only way we can access logic is if we turn this back on. So, for example, quick, rapid movement is an answer. Something that you can go outside, go for a walk, and concentrate on anything but your thoughts. Don't ignore your thoughts. Say, oh, yeah, it's happening again. And then go and concentrate on a flower, on a bird, on a zit on the nose of your friend. That works too. Anything that will distract you. I know.
But no, I love it because it's real.
It's real, right? Or,
Amen.
If you're a guy, concentrate on the cleavage. I don't know, anything. Whatever that No.
So really quick though, I love that you're going into giving this the skills. I want to go back one step. So
okay.
You're feeling your heart beating, you're feeling anxiety, overwhelm, anxiousness, whatever you want to call it for you. How do you get more and more, because it's about realizing it first, right? Because the faster you can realize it, the faster you can kill the monster before it gets to an extreme place. So give us some thoughts, if you will, just really quick, and we'll jump back, obviously, to give more tools. But what do you look for? I know the heart rate, those things you just talked about, fantastic. But how do you snap yourself and say, oh, shit, I'm here?
Well, first of all, you need to recognize what's the process. So first is self-discovery. And that's, when you're in a calm state, remember situations that triggered anxiety. Because there's always one thing that leads to another. There is always a process. Your brain is very, very process oriented. So if there is red color, I don't know, big smile, whatever that might be, a thought that comes up, somebody's tone of voice, something that reminds you of something, you need to know what that is that triggers that feeling. Because overall, anxiety is not bad. This is a good thing. Right. It becomes bad when it overtakes your life. And that's the challenge, when it prevents you from living. So I want you to find that thing that creates that anxiety. Thought, belief, situation, color, sound of voice, certain way people react. Maybe they walk, or something that makes you feel very uncomfortable, because in your brain, Anxiety is the same thing as excitement.
It is.
The same circuit works on both. So you basically, the brain works the same way, is excited.
Mhm.
Now, what changes at the end is the outcome. You will believe you will fail. You will believe that's going to be amazing. And the outcome creates a different feeling. And you associate that with a different feeling.
Absolutely.
Now, that being the neuroscience, knowing yourself is the key to getting rid of all the feelings and to diminishing them. So we can use, for example, another thing, which is Dr. Barron. She had those 4 questions, which are phenomenal. Like if you go into, oh my God, they're going to hate me, I'm not going to do good. Withdraw yourself from the situation, but don't leave the room. That's very important. If you don't want to reinforce your anxiety, do not ever leave when the feeling shows up. With panic attacks and anxiety, it's the same thing. Stay. Because when you leave, you teach your brain that there was something dangerous and you reinforce that feeling. So stay, no matter what, stay. Call your friend, look at a mirror, grab a friend's hand, look at the table, look at the floor, look at the ceiling. I don't care. Stay. That feeling will go away, I promise. Just it will take a while at the beginning.
Phenomenal tip, by the way. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
And when you stay, concentrate on something you can control, like your breath. Now, it's stopping the thoughts with thoughts is not going to work. Your brain is kind of literal. So when it goes into a mode, people telling you go meditate, it's not going to work. Because your brain is unable to meditate when it's in a state of fear. It just won't work. So one of the things we can do is to use the same tool that we use for panic attacks. Take some lemon and bite on a lemon. I would not suggest hurting yourself to inflicting pain, but lemon works great. So what happens is your brain goes, oh my God, there's something happening somewhere else. And it takes away the focus from your thoughts to the sourness in your mouth. Yeah. That's the time where you can start either doing the breathing exercise. You can do other things that might stop you. Now, when we get there, the truth is those are those 4 magical questions you could ask. Is it true? Mm-hmm. Is it really true? Who would I be without that thought? And what is the proof that this is not true? And this is a little bit changed from what she teaches. So for example, oh my God, they're going to hate me. Is it true? Well, I don't know. Is it 100% true? Well, no, I cannot know if 100% true. So what you just did, you dismantled the very strong conviction. Then you go, okay, who would I be without the thought that they're not going to like me? Well, I would be calm. I would be relaxed. I would be happy. I would be curious. What is the proof that in the past, this was not true? Well, I've met a lot of people and they liked me. Well, I very often meet people and I'm curious about them and most people react positively to me. So just walking, so turning on your prefrontal cortex, these are the questions that turn it on, and looking for proof allows your brain to decompress the stress, decompress the anxiety. And I usually like to add, okay, what would be great about today? And that allows me to force myself, because at that point you're forcing, this is not natural. So if you guys think this will be natural, it's not. It is a tool that you need to train, and it's going to be uncomfortable, weird, and the whole 9 yards, right? And you go, okay. So what's going to be great about today? And make yourself find 3 reasons. It doesn't have to be a whole long list. I guarantee you that this will lower the anxiety level. It will allow you. Another thing I love to do with my clients for anxiety, okay.
If we can, before we go into that really quick, keep that thought. I know, just keep the thought. Don't get sidetracked. So guys, celebrate it. Celebrate when you go through the process. Just take a minute, pat yourself on the back, do whatever you need to do, smile and celebrate that you went through the process and work the process, like she's saying, because it is a muscle. It's not just magically all of a sudden, boom, I'm perfect. I can do this anytime I want to. No, because you're going to get in the shit and then you're going to go, what do I do? But the more you work it, the more you're going to get in that place to just automatically default and be able to go and do it. That's all I want to say. Please go ahead.
I absolutely love it. Agreed, 100% support it. And do we like to play around and fool around and be kids? Because I hope you guys do. One of the weirdest things that works for anxiety to calm down your nervous system is to go and swing.
Love it.
On a real swing for kids, and you go, wee, wee, wee. You look maybe kind of odd being an adult, but who cares? It works and it's free. Now, what it does, it calms down your nervous system. And at that time, I highly suggest a mental rehearsal. Imagine you going into that room. Imagine you're seeing people you've never seen. Imagine they're smiling at you. Imagine they like you. Imagine how you feel when that's happening. That's very important. Not only imagine the situation, but how it makes you feel. And to tell you the truth, this method saved me yesterday. I was speaking at a pretty big conference called Aging in Texas, and I was talking about brain health and preventing anxiety, depression, dementia, Alzheimer's, and all those fun things. And, you know, I sent my presentation, everything was ready. Night before, I imagined how amazing it's going to be, how much they're going to love me, how fantastic it's going to be. And I get there, we're starting and we're pressing 10 minutes before getting ready the presentation, and nothing is working. Nothing. I look great. The audience is there, over 50 people, ready to listen to me as a brain health expert. Nothing is working. So we try to close the computer, open the computer, you know, reset, ready to go, fire up, and nothing is working. It's 5 minutes till. We keep doing it. We're switching. They're talking. You know, there was music. There was a great beginning. There was a lot of great things. And I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of medical information that we're giving here. I do need my cheat sheet, which is the presentation. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. They're going to love me. So the IT comes in and I'm like, just do whatever you need to do. And I start talking, but he doesn't know that I'm okay with him working on a computer while I'm talking. So he just stands there. And I'm like, you can please keep going. And then I see a camera, which is my camera, but I forgot to turn it on. I'm like, great, I'm not going to have a recording of this. Fantastic. Let's just keep going. So I'm talking. And then about 6 minutes in, I don't know what he did. He switched computers. He transferred the presentations. He does it and it goes online. I swear, all of us started laughing and clapping. I was like, oh my goodness, thank you that I have a gift of talking, because that 6 minutes would have been very challenging.
And someone else would have been sitting there sweating, going, ran off the stage. I mean, that's
it was
reality.
Me imagining it's going to go great. And I just kept reminding myself, it's going to go great. It's going to be great. And I forgot that there was a music piece at the very beginning. So I click and the music comes on very loud. And people are like, what is happening? I'm like, fantastic. So now we all can sing. I'm like, what the heck is happening? But I got them singing with me. And then we, of course, switched to another slide. I went to the professional. See, life gives you a lot of things. But if you are assuming it's going to be great, you just make it work. And it's not.
Say that again.
Life will give you a lot of challenges. But if you're assuming it's going to be great, you are going to make it work.
Just let that sink in for a minute, everybody. Just let that sink in. So I have to share really quick. As we are getting ready to start here, I press go live, because I do all my own tech, everybody. I press go live. I start getting all these alerts. And I did the same thing. It's going to be great. I've worked through stuff before. I'm going to figure this out. And it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fun. Just know it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And people are going to love you. Just be yourself and just go.
Yes. And you know what? That imperfection at the beginning and how I handled it, it got the audience so close to me. they got me. They were like, oh, this happened to me. I wish I don't want to be her. I could see in their face. And they were routing for me because they want you to do well. Most people want you to do well. And when something is happening to you, they're kind of feeling it with you. So
They are. And more connected.
Yes, we were more connected, and we kind of felt the pain of technology that can play tricks because everybody went through it. If you think you're alone in those things, no, you're not. We're all.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So anxiety is the assumed outcome very often. It is your brain overreacting, and there are ways to train your amygdala not to take over. It does depend on your brain type. It does depend on what environment you're in. And I want to tell you one thing. If there's an environment that keeps triggering you into anxiety, there's something I took to heart from an AA training that I went to when I was working with some people who were addicted. I wanted to know, how does AA do it? So I went through their trainings. And there's one very important sentence. Rest, however you think about it, but it's so important. When you get sick in one environment, you will not get better in the same environment. You need to be leaving the area that keeps triggering you. You cannot be around until you get stronger and you're ready. People who have addictions, they're taking out to different areas of the world, state, city, to heal. And they're not allowed, and it's not suggested to go back until a year later after you finish treatment. You need to get stronger. Those triggers, as we call them, so situations that kind of your brain associated and create certain feelings and behaviors, that is something you need to avoid until you get better. And very often when you get better, you're like, I really don't want this in my life. So why would I go back? Exactly.
Love that.
Anxiety is something that our brain creates that is connected to low self-esteem as well. It is connected to fear. But all of those are brain health issues. They're not psychological issues. They manifest themselves as psychological issues that create behavioral outcomes or emotional feelings or lack of breath, sweating, all of those things. And if we can work with the brain specifically using specific tools, we can literally rewire the brain so that doesn't have power over you anymore. Wouldn't that be great?
And go into that, please. Go into that deeper.
So,
and I know it's a plethora of information, but just talk about some of the, let's go with anxiety specifically, some of the things that are happening in your brain that you have to work with.
Okay. So first of all, we're going to start with the brain as it's an organ. It's a biological organ in your body, like your heart, like your liver, like your stomach. So if you're prone to anxiety, stress, and depression, you're going to go and get your blood work done. We're going to start with the basics. And you're going to check ferritin, iron, magnesium, and D3 levels. I'm going to repeat that. Ferritin, iron, magnesium, and D3 levels. And if you're less than 70th percentile, and now an asterisk comes, if you have any type of severe illnesses, please check with your doctor. But if in general you're healthy, you want to be in the norm, in the upper norm. So let's say your D3 is at a level of 40, which is in the norm. That's not helping your brain and your anxiety. You need to be between 50 and 70. Now, a doctor might not suggest taking D3 because you're in the norm. Same with ferritin, iron, and magnesium. All of these produce neurotransmitters that calm down your nervous system. You need that.
Yeah.
So that's the first step. When we got that down, next thing we're going to go, okay, why is my amygdala overacting? Why?
Can you go back 1 second? Can you go to your normal doctor and request these tests?
Yes, you can. These are regular tests. And they might say, I don't see a reason why. Be persistent.
Yes.
Be persistent, because I can tell you a lot of stories when doctors go, I don't see a reason why. I was like, well, I do. So we're going to do that. But I don't know. We'll find a reason. And if they didn't find a reason, I switched the doctor because I knew something was off. And your doctor is a great human, and he has studied and she has studied a lot. But there is a reason why we specialize in different things. There is a reason why there's no way anybody can know everything about the brain if they don't specialize in the brain. There's no way a cardiologist is going to be expert on the gut. It's just that doesn't work like this. So your general doctor has job to understand the general function of your body. But when there's something specific and you have knowledge, you have every right to advocate for yourself and be persistent. And if they don't like it, that's okay. I'll switch a doctor. And there was once I switched doctors 7 times, and the 8th one agreed to do what I wanted to try.
Yeah. And I'm going to just add to it, it is your health. Yeah. If your doctor's not team you, I agree. Like you're saying, find one that is.
And, there are different trainings, different perspectives, and they're also human, right?
Yeah,
it's like for years and years for women that are veterans, especially, we were told that hormone replacement therapy creates breast cancer. We have abolished that 50,000 times already with science. And yet there are still doctors who go, well, I wouldn't recommend HRT because it changes your psychology and you can get cancer. That's absolute BS. Your brain, your anxiety is connected to your hormones. Right? So that's another thing we need to check. If you're in perimenopause, guess what? It comes with the perimenopause time, anxiety, depression, and stress. And it's not you. It is your hormones going haywire. There are ways to fix this. Go to the right doctor. But it's so important not to separate psychology from biology. That's why I say I hack psychology with biology. Because when your biology works right, it's easier for your brain to take care of those connections that it created unknowingly and create new behaviors. I mean, imagine how difficult it is to be a great husband if you're constantly in pain and you have phantom pains and you're living with constant pain and everybody's expecting you to be loving and caring and not snappy. Well, try living with constant pain.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? So that biology is an important step in coaching and getting better. So get that right. And then let's look at your brain. Maybe we need to scan your brain at Dr. Amen. Maybe you just need an assessment that brain coaches have, and we see which brain type you have, because you might be prone to anxiety. But the beautiful thing about the brain is the science of neuroplasticity. Your brain is the way it is, but you can change it. That's the beauty of neuroplasticity. And there's no end age. That's BS that you cannot teach the old dog new tricks.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
You definitely can.
And we've got a couple of minutes left. If we can we just touch base a little bit more on what you're talking about with the different chemicals, or nutrients? We talked about, magnesium and those kinds of things. Is there anything else you want to leave with on that stuff that's important for us to get the test done, all that stuff? But where to go from there? You got the test done. Let's just go there.
Well, you got the test done and you know what levels you need to achieve. So with your doctor or on your own, make sure you upgrade that. A little pro tip that it just showed up a few years ago in PubMed. If you take iron every other day, it will absorb better. So don't take it every day. And make sure those levels are up. Obviously, if you're sick, you have some issues, make sure you do it with your primary doctor, that you don't overdo it, because one of the things I want to tell you is that overdoing on supplements and vitamins can be hurtful as well. So please just don't, because somebody told you that D3 is good for you, don't start taking D3. First, get your base level, check what you have.
I'm so glad you said that, because our society, or the stigma is we don't have enough. We're getting just bombarded on every platform, social media, etc. That, oh, you need to take this. No, you need to take this. No, you need to take this. And no, that's not right. You need to take this. So find out what you really need to
always start with blood work. You need to know what your body has, and then according to this, don't run. I had a lady who came to me and she had some anxiety and she had a lot of stress levels and she would be forgetful. So one of the things we do, we look at, not as medical professionals, but just to, have an oversight of what that person is taking. She was taking 8 supplements with vitamin D. And her B was through the roof, and she goes, maybe I need vitamin B shots. So I'm looking at her, I'm like, look, I'm not a doctor, but you're 400 over the norm. I don't think you need vitamin B shots. I think you need to go to a doctor, because I don't know how to deal with, over extension of vitamin B, right?
Right.
Check before you decide on your health. Don't buy like a crazy person.
And I've done it. I'm owning it. I've done it. And I do not take nearly what I used to. It is just so dramatically different. I mean, literally, you're putting all the stuff in your body that it doesn't need it in the first place.
And too much is not good either. It's like, I'm going to just say, because we're adults, right? Most people love sex, but having sex 12 times a day probably is not a good idea. You will not love it as much, and it's not good for your body. I've known cases like this. They ended up in hospitals.
And we're not going to talk about that right now.
Right. But it's a way people sometimes have anxiety. Isn't that interesting? So
absolutely. Hey, so we're over time. So with that said, how do people reach you?
Well, you can find me on Your Brain Coach D on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and everywhere else. You can also reach out to me to contact@yourbraincoachd.com. You can find me under my first and last name on Facebook and LinkedIn. I am happy to support you as your trainer, coach, or a speaker. I love seeing the aha moments and making the world a better place with the knowledge we have with neuroscience, so you can use it and just make your life the way you want to.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So with that said, the last part, 3 tips to get veterans and their families further faster.
Be aware of your baseline. Mm-hmm. Number 2, understand where your feelings come from. And if you don't know how, get a coach, trainer, therapist, or whoever else. Understand the process. Number 3, who you are until now has nothing to do with what you want to be, because your brain created that without you. Now, knowing what you know now, you have a choice of taking life into your hands and becoming a better leader, better mother, better husband, better friend, happier human, or you can just say, I don't know what to do, and play the victim role.
And our society is so wrapped with that. Hey, let's do the other and move forward, shall we? Let's be the difference. I love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. My dear friend, time's most precious resource we have as human beings. We don't get it back. Thank you for being on again and just giving us real information, not only with science, but also with some fun. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. And thank you for giving me your time.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we're out of here, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.